Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Tuesday. We are just continuing on with our AI suggestions and helping us to share our brand story, create content without pulling our hair out, hiring a graphic designer, a content creator, and all of that. So we are continuing on here. Let me just switch us here to kind of set up what we are walking through. If you are brand new to me, my name is Zakia Ringgold, and I am attempting to pull all of my brands together under a single website. Now, each one will still have their own unique website, but as I was going through this, of course, I have a ton of tools that I will be sharing with you along the way. I said, why not actually show how I'm generating this content? I do leverage AI extensively in a lot of what I do, but it all starts with my own brand voice. I'm using it to help me brainstorm, help me create content, and all of that. So if you are curious how to go about doing that, be sure to stick around. If you have questions while we go, I can see there's some chat coming up already. Hello on the Facebook side, hello on the LinkedIn side, and hello on the YouTube side. Be sure to put in the chat where you are watching from so that I can say hello to you, and then we will get started. So the first thing that we want to do, I want to make sure because it looks like it swapped them. No, it didn't. I do want that larger. So if I maximize it, it will get rid of my. Hi, Lanisha. How are you? Good to see you on the Facebook side. So what I'm going to do, Curtis, good morning on the LinkedIn side. So I always, as we go along in this series, this beginning part will get shorter and shorter because we're building the community on the LinkedIn side. I do have to do a little bit of setup so that you all know what it is we're doing. Typically, if you are watching on the replay, I would say fast forward to about the 4 minute mark because that's when I will actually get into the tool. But just a little bit of background on what we're doing. We are rebuilding the ZakiaRingold.com website. If you are curious about how this journey progressed, the products, the services, and all of that, and how I help small business owners, head over to ZakiaRingold.com. I had 4 websites, but none of them had my name. So I decided to create the Zakia Ringgold website. Senator Bulworth, all the way from Maryland. So good to see you on the YouTube side. And we also have Curtis checking in from Texas. And Lanisha, I think you are also in Texas. I'm not sure. And so as I have been building out the website, one thing, you can always have the structure. It's the content that slows people down. As I work with people for their social media campaigns, for their website, for their newsletter, the structure, because of the tools that we have these days, are very not easy, but they're easier than what they used to be. Where most people struggle is coming up with the content. They have it up here, but getting it in a tangible format becomes really difficult when it comes time to put pen to paper or keyboard to computer. And so AI, generative AI specifically, has come a long way in the last 12 to 24 months in terms of being able to really generate high quality content that you can use to repurpose whatever it is you're doing. So let's say this video, we will be repurposing it using AI at some point. But if you want to chop it up and make it into several pieces of content that you can then share out, you don't need an audio engineer or somebody who's proficient in creating videos. These AI tools are really smart on finding those key elements, those key pieces, chopping your video up, and from a 30-minute video, you can get 30 short clips because all of the social media platforms, what are they promoting now? Shorts, 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 shorts. Our society has the attention span of a gnat. When I was in the corporate space, we would call that micro learning, but I don't know what this is. This is not micro learning that we are in today. I don't know what it's like. 30 seconds is too long. 60 seconds is too long. But you will be able to generate that content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch screens really quickly. And can I drag that and make it larger? I don't know. Well, hopefully you all can see that okay. So it started out on the website. So I built the website out, and of course, for content marketing, you have to have blogs to be able to expand on what it is that you're sharing. But what I just said about that, the attention span of a gnat. That's what we all, I am not being disparaging. I'm scrolling. I am not reading biographies of people. However, there are those people in your audience that are going to want to do more of a deep dive of what it is that you're sharing. So you want to think of your social media as kind of like putting those snippets out there of, hey, this is what I'm talking about, and if you're interested, you can go back here and get more information, or join me in a class, or get the product that you just watched me make. But as I've been doing that for ZakiaRingold.com, it was okay, what was the foundation? So it was building a purpose driven business accidentally. It was not intentional. So if any of you are ever wondering, well, how did you do it? Did you have a plan? Absolutely not. It was just one step after the other in building on the previous experiences. So the next one had to do with core values. And I should mention that I am taking a class in eCornell. It's a women's entrepreneurship program. I will share the link to that a little bit later. However, that program has us looking at things like our mission, our vision, our values, our core values that we want to make sure we are embodying as we're building out our team and scaling, as well as when a customer or a client interacts with us, what is that experience that we want them to have? Which led me to build out the core values in business blog post. So that's the catch up. Did I make it to darn it? So you got to fast forward to the 7-minute mark, because now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of it all. All right. So we looked at that, and then if you were here with me last week in our Tech Talk Tuesday, we were talking about Notebook LM. And so we're going to continue to build on Notebook LM. And what that does is it allowed me to paste this blog post. And again, I'm going to show you all just how lengthy the blog post is, right? I talk about all of my organizations, no matter which one you're looking at. Veda, Natural Soap by Zakia, Live Soap School, Business Tech Lab. There are some core values that go through and through. Number one is empowerment through knowledge, continuous learning and growth, authentic connection and community, innovation with purpose, empowerment through storytelling, inclusivity and accessibility. Now, as you look at them, if you put on your content hat, nobody's going to read every one of those paragraphs, but in terms of repurposing content, each one of these subheadings, if we're thinking about LinkedIn or Instagram, could become its own carousel, right? And if somebody wants to dig a little bit deeper, they can. But let's go back to the Notebook LM tool, because I mean, Zakia, we've got ChatGPT. Why in the world are you giving us another tool? Well, hold on, Sally, because Notebook LM allows you to upload your own sources, right? So you're not just using the vast amount of information that is out there. You're saying, hey, generative AI, I want you to focus on this specific piece of content. And you can have up to 50 sources that you put in there. The only thing I did was pasted that blog post into Notebook LM. And what that does, and it's a Google product, one thing with AI, you want to be careful that you're not using like these off the wall, kind of out of nowhere AI tools, because you don't want them scraping your data. I kind of sort of a little bit trust Google. You hear that kind of sort of a little bit. They say they are not using your data to train the AI. I won't say anything else. However, I'm not putting anything out here that I wouldn't mind it training the data. Now, would I put my trade secrets or the next big strategy that I have in here? Probably not. But something that I have in a blog post, it's already public, right? So I pasted it in, And what Notebook LM does is it gives me a summary. It also allows you to use the tool to help you create FAQs. If you have students that are in school, myself, for the program that I'm doing in eCornell, I download the transcripts of that and I create a study guide and an action plan for what I need to do in framing out my business. You can also have it create a table of contents for you, a timeline, or a briefing document. You could do all of that with ChatGPT, but what you can't do with ChatGPT is have it create a deep dive conversation. And this is when a third party, like newscaster, kind of goes through the materials that you have provided. And then, hello, I see we have some people coming in, but I got to make sure I get this take because the post editing is crazy when I start saying hi to you guys. But hello, hello. And what it does is it creates a newscaster kind of experience where they are reacting and sharing what it is that you shared with it in the post, right? So a really exciting part of that is sometimes, and I did publish a podcast for myself. It was something that I recorded, but to have two other people reacting to what you said and analyzing it is extremely valuable, and it's engaging because it's a different voice. Now, as this becomes more and more adopted, it's going to kind of wane, right? Because people are going to keep hearing these voices and then the shininess of it all goes away. So I will tell you, I have another tool that will allow you to change the voices and maybe even make it your own voice. I know the jury is still out on voice cloning, but whatever. All right, so let's see. Let me do a pause really quickly and say hello to everyone. Hello, Erica Bates. What are you saying there? Loving Notebook LM so far. Thank you for the introduction. You are welcome. You can, and I saw yours. You put one in your newsletter, Erica, which was fabulous. Erica says Chat Gemini and Notebook works well together to train me, right? And the nice thing about Notebook LM in particular is that the chat feature that you have down there it's actually using Gemini. So you're using Gemini within Notebook LM. Connie, my lotion making sister. I always want to say from Virginia, but you're West Virginia, I think. Hi, Connie. No worries. We understand too well about the post editing, but I'm going to clap here, and that's when I know to stop the start and stop. All right. So let me just press play just for a minute so you can hear what it creates.
Welcome to your deep dive. Today we'll be looking closely at the pasted text document you sent in.
Okay.
Outlining those core values
Yeah.
of this fascinating multi-brand company.
Right.
And you're particularly interested in the secret sauce behind their success, right? How a company built around soap making, online courses, and community building could become so successful.
Alrighty, so if you want to hear the whole thing, it will be in the newsletter that I'm posting today. But we wanted to take it a step further, and if you saw my LinkedIn from this morning, this is what we generated. We generated a very short clip of the first core value that I'm talking about, which is empowerment through knowledge. And in order to create that clip, I used another AI tool. Now, this one was introduced to me by Eric as well. And here's another tip that I'm going to share with you all. Hopefully, there's no sound coming. But what this did is it used AI to find a quote. It created this graphic. It created the subtitles. And then I just gave it a title. And within a matter of 2 minutes, I had an audiogram from the AI generated with an AI. I think we're getting pretty meta with it at this point. AI created with AI for AI, whatever. Hopefully you're getting what I'm putting down there. And so what we want to show you on this one is how to take a 18-minute audio or video clip and use another tool that we'll open up in just a second here, SoundMade Scene. And what you can do is you can upload that AI generated audio, right? And what it'll do is it will create content for you. And you can say, well, what kind of content do you want it to create? You can do blog posts, show notes, social media posts, bullet points. So let's do a bullet point. You can also tell it the tone that you want it to have. I know a lot of people have struggled with using ChatGPT and all of the generative AI because you're not experts in prompt engineering. And a huge part of prompt engineering when you're working with those tools is understanding how to tell it the tone that you want it to give you the information in, or the style of the content, or how you want it to display. So without that ingestion of that information, you typically will get very generic results that sound like everybody else or sound like AI. So what I do like about some of these tools that are coming out is it has that baked in for you to be able to try and tweak it just a little bit. So I want this to be conversational because you know me, I'm very conversational. And then what length of the content? So you can say just a paragraph, a few, or several. So let's go with a few paragraphs and have it generate that content. And so what it's doing is it's taking the post, or it's taking the audio, and it's giving me these really short clips, or the bullet points that I asked for. This could be a LinkedIn newsletter. This could be a carousel on LinkedIn or on Instagram. The spark that started it all started as a personal burnout remedy. The founder turned to soap making as a creative outlet. Began sharing soap making on Periscope, unexpectedly sparking massive interest. This led to the creation of Live Soap School. Pretty true. Then it goes into each one of the core values, right? So would you rather read this, or would you rather read this? Look at the difference, right? So for those people that just want the bullet points of what you're sharing, you can absolutely use bullet points, or like what we like to call in the LTD community, TLDR, too long, don't feel like reading. But I don't know if feel like is in there, but too long, didn't read, right? All right. So wait, I'm going too far. So here you can have it do that. But the power of this, remember, we have audio content or even video content. You can have it analyze the audio and pull the main topics, but then it also finds the best clips, which is one of the ones that I shared with you today. So let's grab this one. So what we do is we can say select audio. It highlights that specific section within the tool, and I can press play.
Journey wasn't
a straight line to success either. Right. She embraced continuous learning and growth. Yes. Evolving from soap making in her basement to multiple businesses, right, including VDB, right, a virtual experience design agency. Yeah, it really speaks to the importance of adaptability and continuous learning, especially in our ever-changing world, you know? Right. Her willingness to embrace new challenges and constantly learn, it's inspiring. Yeah. It's a key takeaway for anyone, no matter their field.
Okay, so I'm hoping that you can hear that. And the reason why I'm showing that is it took me nothing but loading the audio up, and it found those salient quick points just enough where if you are interested in what it is that I've shared, great, you will click whatever my call to action is. So remember, every social media post has a call to action, not buy my stuff, but it could be read the LinkedIn newsletter, visit the blog, subscribe to the newsletter on my website. It could be any of those things, but in order to grab that interest, we have to have that really short piece of content that can be loaded as a short on YouTube, a short on LinkedIn now. LinkedIn now shows me videos you might be interested in, and they're 30-minute clips. So we now have this, but how do we turn it into an actual video? I'll show you that in just a second, but I have to come and check on these comments. Alice is here. Alice was one of the original people that I saw leveraging social media probably before 2015, but I stumbled on her in 2015, and the way that she understands digital marketing media tools is phenomenal. But she says between Notebook LLM, Google's Learn About, Perplexity, and Opus Clip content creation just got a steroid drip. They're great for instructors, coaches, and of course, social media managers too. Absolutely. LaDrew is back. Hello, hello, tech community. The online domino community and hybrid events are in the building. We appreciate having you, my friend. All right, so let's go back into Sound Made Scene. This is the tool here. So what I can then do is I can click on create video right from within the tool. Now, this is a very user-friendly. I'm still learning the tool. Again, this is like my third day using it, but when I like it, I share it. What it does is you can choose the size. So are you creating a Instagram reel or a YouTube short? You want that to be in a 9:16 format. But you can always change the sizing, square, landscape. If you're doing TikTok, Facebook story, notice they all have similar sizing, but I'm going to keep it on this 9:16. But then it has some templates for you already built out. And if we look at the LinkedIn post that I shared earlier, make sure you go and like that post to get some action going on here. I just used the one here. Now, unfortunately, I have this as an untitled project. Generally, you would have named the project. So I'll just say demo for live stream, and you guys will see this one post today. You can also do your short. So you just click and type what you like. Check it out. Or listen. Check it out and listen in. Then you have your captions down here. You can change the subtitle types. This one is not as extensive as Opus Clip and the other ones that are out there, but it does have where it'll highlight a single word, the phrase, or karaoke. I typically like karaoke. You can even customize the coloring of it so it's on brand. We're not going to do all of that now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on export. I probably should have saved it, but we'll see. Let's do save. So let me see. Did I miss any questions? Oh, you are very welcome. You are very, very welcome. So what it's doing is it's generating that piece of video content. And it typically takes a minute or two for it to generate. And then you can export that and load it into your scheduler. So you're not kind of doing it, posting it, doing it, posting it. I would say create a schedule. In soap making, we have a term of master batching. I have to make sure I say that clearly so I don't get any dings on any of the platforms. It is called master batching, where we set aside a day to measure out all of our ingredients, right? And then we set another day for production, another day for packaging. So what I would have you all do is set aside a particular day where you're going to just go through and get 30 clips, 30 social media captions, because that's what makes it palatable instead of, oh my gosh, I got to stop doing this work to make sure I get something posted today. But don't just post junk. Make sure it is adding value to your community and use the AI tools. I know many people are operating as solopreneurs, or you may have a VA. This can cut down on their hours because they're using these tools. But if you don't have that and you are operating as just a single entrepreneur, but you do want to make sure you're showcasing your brand story and the value, leveraging these tools without it being the generic creation of that, but actually your voice and what it is that you're sharing can be very powerful in your content creation arsenal. Thanks for that great intro. Could I add it to my testimony? Yes, ma'am. I'm serious. And thanks for this intro to a new tool. You are very, very welcome. Yes, absolutely. Anytime I give any of you a shout out, I'm just giving you carte blanche. Take it, snip it, audio, use AI to do whatever you want with it. You can absolutely do it for sure. And so Now we have this demo that was created, and let's see if we play it. Oh, what did I do? I think I clicked back. Yeah, I did. I clicked on something. I think it already exported. Yeah, it did. I'm sorry, guys. I came back to look at the comments and then I clicked out of it really quickly. Because I want you all to see what is generated, but you can also see what is generated on my LinkedIn. Great insights, and thanks as always. You are very welcome. So we have a takeaway for today as this is creating. What are the AI tools that you have at your disposal, and how are you using them to either become more productive or more efficient in what it is that you're creating, and not just creating for the sake of creating. All of these platforms are really, really loud and noisy with a lot of junk that's just, I can do it, so I'm going to throw it out there. Don't do that. Make sure it is something that is adding value and speaks to your overall strategy. And what I mean by that is if you don't have a strategy for what you're posting, you are really going to be struggling because it is going to feel like you're throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what actually sticks. And so now, hopefully I don't click the button.
Journey wasn't
a straight line to success either. Right. She embraced continuous learning and growth. Yes. Evolving from soap making in her basement to multiple businesses, right, including VDAB, right, a virtual experience design agency. Yeah, it really speaks to the importance of adaptability and continuous learning, especially in our ever-changing world, you know? Right. Her willingness to embrace new challenges and constantly learn, it's inspiring. Yeah. It's a key takeaway for anyone, no matter their field.
Awesome. Awesome. The only thing I would mention, because I didn't do it because I was just trying to be fast, you notice that there was a spelling error when they were talking about Veda. And so I can then click on the transcript within the editor. And what I can do is I can find where they were talking about right here. Caps lock. And just another reminder, with any AI tools, you do want to make sure you review it and then use it. Don't just say, okay, it created it, put it out there. Review it for accuracy. And that goes for every single one of the tools. So I am hoping that you found this broadcast insightful. Of course, I do have a link for you all if you want to try out Sound Made Seen. You can go to links.businesstechlab.com/audio1. Tell them Zakia sent you. And on the next episode, we'll talk about Cast Magic because it's magical. It is magical in terms of finding additional gems in what it is that you have shared. So I'm Zakia. Thank you for joining me on another Tech Talk Tuesday, and I'll see you on the next